Taeho did not remember entering the lottery. He was almost sure he had not. But the message on his datapad was very clear. It said he had won a companion pet from the Galactic Trade Hub, and it would arrive at his cargo ship within 3 standard hours. He sat in his small kitchen and read the message again. He was a cargo hauler. He moved boxes from one station to another. He lived alone on a ship that was older than he was. He did not need a pet. He did not want a pet. But the message said the delivery was already on its way, and there was no way to cancel it. "What kind of pet?" he asked out loud to no one. The message did not say. It only showed a picture of a metal crate with air holes on the sides. The crate was large. Too large for a small animal. Taeho felt a strange feeling in his stomach. Something was not right about this. 3 hours later, a delivery drone brought the crate to his cargo bay. Taeho stood far away and watched as the drone set it down on the metal floor. The crate made no sound. Whatever was inside was very quiet or very scared. The drone flew away without a word. Taeho was alone with the crate. He walked closer. The metal was cold under his fingers. He could see nothing through the air holes because it was dark inside. He pressed his ear against the side and listened. He heard breathing. Fast breathing. The breathing of something afraid. Taeho found the lock on the front of the crate. It was a simple lock, easy to open. He turned it and pulled the door open slowly. The smell hit him first. It was the smell of fear and old blood, and something else he could not name. Then he saw her. She was not a pet. She was a woman. Or something very close to a woman. She had pale skin that was almost white. Her hair was long and black and tangled. Her eyes were large and red, like 2 drops of blood in a snowfield. She was thin. Too thin. And she was shaking. She wore torn clothes that might have been nice once. Now they were dirty and ripped. Her wrists had marks on them, marks from being tied. Her ankles had the same marks. She looked at Taeho with those red eyes, and he saw terror in them. Pure terror. She expected him to hurt her. She was waiting for it. Taeho did not move. He did not speak. He just looked at her and felt something break inside his chest. "Who are you?" he asked softly. She did not answer. She just pressed herself deeper into the corner of the crate, making herself as small as possible. Taeho stepped back from the crate. He held up his hands to show he had no weapon. "I am not going to hurt you," he said. "I promise. I am not going to hurt you." She still did not speak, but her breathing slowed down just a little bit. Taeho sat down on the floor of the cargo bay. He made himself smaller, less threatening. "My name is Taeho," he said. "I am a human. This is my ship. I thought they were sending me a pet. I did not know they were sending me a person." The woman's red eyes watched him carefully. She was studying him, trying to understand if he was lying. "What is your name?" Taeho asked. For a long time, she said nothing. Then, in a voice that was rough from not being used, she spoke. "Yuna. Yuna." Taeho repeated. "That is a nice name. Where are you from, Yuna?" Taeho. She shook her head. She did not want to answer that question. Taeho nodded slowly. "Okay, you do not have to tell me. Can you tell me what you are? I have never seen anyone who looks like you before." Yuna's red eyes filled with something new. It was not fear this time. It was shame. "I am Velith," she whispered. Taeho thought about the name. He had heard it before. Somewhere. In a bar, maybe. Or in a story someone told him during a long trip between stations. The Velith. Blood drinkers. Monsters. The species that other species were afraid of. He looked at the thin, shaking woman in the crate. She did not look like a monster. She looked like someone who had been hurt very badly. "I do not know much about Velith," Taeho said honestly. "Humans do not have much contact with your people. We are still new to the galaxy." Yuna blinked. She seemed surprised by his words. "You are not afraid of me?" Taeho thought about it. "Should I be? Everyone is afraid of Velith," she said. "We drink blood. We are dangerous. We are monsters. Taeho looked at her thin arms, and her tired eyes, and her shaking body. You do not look dangerous to me. You look hungry and scared. Tears started to fall from Yuna's red eyes. They were not red tears, just normal tears, clear and wet. She cried quietly, without making a sound, like someone who had learned that crying loudly brought pain. Taeho felt his heart hurt watching her. He stood up slowly and walked to the door of the cargo bay. I am going to get you some food and water, he said. And a blanket. It is cold in here. When I come back, you can come out of the crate if you want. Or you can stay in there. It is your choice. He left before she could answer. In his small kitchen, Taeho made a cup of warm soup and filled a bottle with clean water. He found a blanket from his bed, the soft one that his mother had given him before he left Earth. He brought everything back to the cargo bay. Yuna had not moved. She was still in the crate, still pressed into the corner, but she was watching the door when he came in. Taeho set the food and water and blanket on the floor near the crate. Then he sat down again, far away from her. Take your time, he said. I will wait. He watched as she slowly, carefully, moved toward the food. Her movements were like those of a wild animal that expected a trap. She picked up the soup with shaking hands and smelled it. Then she drank it fast, too fast, like she had not eaten in days. Maybe she had not eaten in days. I need to make some calls, Taeho said, after she finished the soup. I need to find out who sent you to me, and why. I need to understand what is happening. I need to understand what is happening. Yuna's eyes went wide with fear again. Please, she whispered. Please do not send me back to them. Back to who? The traitors, the ones who took me. Her voice was shaking. They will kill me. Or worse. They will sell me again. Taeho felt cold anger growing in his chest. Someone sold you? Like property? Yuna nodded. The shame was back in her eyes. That is illegal, Taeho said. Slavery is illegal in the Galactic Union. Yuna laughed, but it was not a happy laugh. It was a sad, broken sound. I am Velith. The law does not protect Velith. Everyone hates us. Everyone fears us. To them, we are not people. We are monsters. Monsters can be bought and sold. Taeho stood up. His hands were fists at his sides. Not on my ship, he said. On my ship, you are a person. On my ship, you are free. Yuna stared at him like he was speaking a language she did not understand. Why? She asked. Why would you help me? You do not know me. You have no reason to care what happens to me. Taeho thought about the question. He thought about his mother on Earth, who had taught him that every person had value. He thought about his father, who had told him that the measure of a man was how he treated those who could not help him back. Because it is the right thing to do, he said simply. That is the only reason I need. He walked to the door again. There is a room next to mine. It is small, but it has a bed and a door that locks from the inside. You can stay there. You can lock the door if it makes you feel safe. I will not come in unless you ask me to. He looked back at her one more time. She was still sitting on the floor of the cargo bay, wrapped in his mother's blanket, looking at him with those strange red eyes. Welcome to my ship, Yuna, he said. For as long as you need, this is your home. Then he left to find out who had tried to sell him a person and call them a pet. 3 days passed on the ship. 3 days of quiet and careful movements and long silences. Yuna stayed in the small room Taeho had given her. She locked the door every night and every day. She only came out when she heard him in the kitchen, and even then, she moved like a ghost. Quiet and fast, taking food and disappearing again. Taeho did not push her. He did not ask questions. He just made sure there was always food outside her door and clean water in the small bathroom next to her room. On the 4th day, he found something important. He was searching the galactic network for information about the lottery he had supposedly entered. There was no record of it. The company that sent him the crate did not exist. The tracking number on the delivery was fake. Everything about the situation was wrong, but he did find something else. He found a list. A black market list of exotic pets available for purchase. And on that list, he found a picture of Yuna. The listing called her female Valith, young, healthy, trained for obedience. The price was very high. The seller's location was hidden. Tejo stared at the screen for a long time. His hands were shaking. But not from fear. They were shaking from anger. Someone had put Yuna in a crate and sent her to him like she was an object, like she was a thing to be owned. The listing said, "Trained for obedience." He did not want to think about what that training had involved. He closed the screen and walked to Yuna's door. He knocked softly. "Yuna," he called. "I found something. Can we talk?" There was silence for a moment. Then he heard the lock click open. The door moved just a little bit, enough for her to see him through the gap. "What did you find?" she asked. "I found a list," Tejo said. "A black market list. You were on it. Someone was trying to sell you." Yuna's red eyes closed. She looked tired, so tired. "I know," she said. "I was sold 3 times before I came here. Each time, the buyer decided they did not want me. Each time, I was sent back." "Why?" Tejo asked. Yuna laughed that sad laugh again. "Because I am broken. Because I do not obey well. Because I fight back." She paused. "And because I refused to drink from them." Tejo did not understand. "Drink from them?" Yuna opened the door a little more. She looked at him carefully, like she was deciding whether to trust him with something important. "Velith need blood to survive," she said. "Not a lot. Just a little. Every few days. But the blood must come from a living being. And some buyers, they want a Velith because they think it is exciting. Dangerous. They want to feel the bite." Her voice was full of disgust. "I refused. I would rather starve than be their entertainment." Tejo felt sick. The more he learned about Yuna's past, the more he hated the people who had hurt her. "When was the last time you ate?" he asked. "Real food, I mean." "Blood." Yuna looked away. "Many days. I do not remember how many." "You are starving?" "Yes." Tejo ran his hand through his hair. "Why did you not tell me? I would have helped you find something." Yuna stared at him like he was speaking nonsense. "You would help me feed? Even knowing what I am? Even knowing I drink blood?" "Of course," Tejo said. "You need to eat, to live. Everyone needs to eat, to live. I am not going to let you starve on my ship." He walked to his computer and started searching. There must be something. Synthetic blood, maybe. Or blood from animals. Something that does not require hurting anyone. Yuna followed him slowly. She stood behind him, watching the screen. "Synthetic blood exists," she said quietly. "It is expensive, but it exists. It does not taste the same, but it keeps us alive. Then we will get synthetic blood." Tejo said. "I have money saved. Not much, but enough for now." He placed an order for synthetic blood from a medical supply station 2 days away. Then he turned to look at Yuna. She was crying again. The tears ran down her pale cheeks in slow lines. "Why are you crying?" Tejo asked gently. "Because I do not understand you," she said. "You are spending your money on me. You are giving me a room, and food, and kindness. And you ask for nothing in return. No one does this. No one is kind without wanting something." Tejo stood up and looked at her. He wanted to put a hand on her shoulder, to comfort her, but he knew she was not ready for that. So he just stood there, close but not too close. "I do not want anything from you, Yuna," he said. "I just want you to be safe. That is all." "But why?" "Because you are a person, and people deserve to be safe." Yuna wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. "On my planet, before I was taken, we had a word for humans. We called you the young ones, the species that was new to the stars. We thought you were simple. We thought you were weak." She looked up at him with those red eyes. and there was something new in them now. Something like wonder. "We were wrong," she said. "You are not weak. You are strange. Strange in a way I have never seen before." Taeho smiled a little. "Strange is not bad. I can live with strange." That night, Yuna did not lock her door. She left it open just a crack, just enough to hear if something happened in the hallway. It was a small thing, a tiny thing, but Taeho understood what it meant. She was starting to trust him. The synthetic blood arrived 2 days later. Taeho picked up the package from the delivery point and brought it back to the ship. It came in small bags, like the blood bags humans used in hospitals. He put them in a cooler in the kitchen. When Yuna saw them, she started crying again. But this time, there was a small smile on her face too. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you. You do not have to thank me," Taeho said. "Just eat. Get strong. That is all I want." She drank the first bag slowly, carefully. Her hands stopped shaking after a few minutes. Color came back to her cheeks. Just a little bit. She looked less like a ghost, and more like a living person. "How does it taste?" Taeho asked. Yuna made a face. "Like metal and sadness. But it works. It will keep me alive." "Good, that is what matters." Over the next few days, Yuna changed. She came out of her room more often. She sat in the kitchen while Taeho cooked his own meals. She asked him questions about humans, about Earth, about his life before he became a cargo hauler. Taeho answered everything honestly. He told her about his parents, about the small town where he grew up, about the day he decided to leave Earth and see the stars. He told her about his first ship, which broke down after 6 months. He told her about the loneliness of space, the beauty of nebulas, the strange creatures he had met on distant stations. Yuna listened to everything. She seemed hungry for his words, hungry for any kindness, any normal conversation. One evening, she asked him the question he had been waiting for. "Why do humans not fear Velith?" she asked. "Every other species in the galaxy is afraid of us. They call us monsters. They hunt us. They hate us. But you act like I am just another person." Taeho thought about it. "I think it is because we do not know you," he said. "Humans are still new here. We have not heard all the old stories. We have not been taught to hate your people." He looked at her. "And even if I had heard the stories, I do not think it would matter. I judge people by what they do, not by what stories say about them. You have done nothing but be kind and quiet since you arrived. That tells me more than any old story could." Yuna was silent for a long time. Then she said something that surprised him. "I was a teacher, before I was taken. I taught young Velith how to read and write. I loved my job. I loved my students. I loved my students." Taeho smiled. "A teacher. That is a good job." "It was." Her voice was sad. "Then the raiders came. They took many of us. The young ones, the pretty ones, the ones who could be sold. I have not seen my home in 2 years. I am sorry," Taeho said. "I am so sorry that happened to you. It is not your fault, I know. But I am still sorry." 2-1. Yuna looked at him with those red eyes, and for the first time, she smiled. A real smile. Small and fragile, but real. "You are a good person, Taeho," she said. "I did not know good people still existed." "They do," Taeho said. "They are just hard to find sometimes." That night, Yuna left her door all the way open. And for the first time since she arrived, Taeho heard her laugh. It was a quiet sound. Barely there. But it was the most beautiful sound he had heard in a long time. She was healing. Slowly, carefully, she was healing. And he would do everything in his power to keep her safe while she did. The trouble came on a quiet morning. Taeho was fixing a broken panel in the cargo bay when his ship's alarm started screaming. Red lights flashed everywhere. The computer voice said words that made his blood go cold. "Unauthorized vessels approaching. Weapons detected. Prepare for contact." He dropped his tools and ran to the cockpit. Through the window, he saw 3 small ships flying toward him. They were fast and sharp and built for only one thing: hunting. "Yuna!" he shouted. She was already there, standing in the doorway of the cockpit. Her face was white with fear. "They found me," she whispered. "They found me. Who are they?" "The traitors. The ones who sold me." Her voice was shaking. "They must have put a tracker in the crate. They know I am here. They have come to take me back." Teho's mind raced. His ship was old and slow. He had no weapons. Nothing but basic shields that would not last long against an attack. He could not fight them. He could not run from them, but he could not let them take Yuna. "Go to the hidden compartment in the cargo bay," he said quickly. "Behind the wall panel, with the red stripe. There is a space there, big enough for a person. Hide there, and do not come out until I tell you it is safe." Yuna grabbed his arm. Her fingers were cold and desperate. "What are you going to do?" "I am going to talk to them. They will not listen. They will kill you." "Maybe," Teho said. "But I have to try." He pulled her hand off his arm gently. "Go. Hide. Please." Yuna looked at him for a long moment. There were tears in her red eyes. "No one has ever tried to protect me before," she said. "No one." "Then it is time someone started," Teho said. "Now go." She went. Teho watched her disappear into the cargo bay. Then he turned back to the window and waited for the hunters to arrive. They did not wait long. A voice came through his communication system. It was cold and smooth, like oil on water. "Human vessel. You have something that belongs to us. A Velith female. Return her now, and we will let you live." Teho pressed the button to respond. "I do not have any property that belongs to you. There is only me on this ship." The cold voice laughed. "We know she is there, human. Our tracker told us. Do not play games. Give us the Velith, and this will end peacefully." "No." There was silence on the other end. Then the voice spoke again. And this time, it was not smooth. It was angry. "What did you say?" "I said no," Teho repeated. "She is not your property. She is a person, and I am not going to give her to you. She is a monster. A blood drinker. She is not protected by any law. You are risking your life for nothing." Teho looked out the window at the 3 ships. They were close now, close enough that he could see the weapons on their hulls. Guns and missiles and things designed to tear metal apart. "I do not think she is a monster," he said. "I think she is a scared woman who was stolen from her home and treated like an animal. I think you are the monsters. And I am not going to help monsters." The cold voice was quiet for a moment. When it spoke again, it sounded confused. "You are human. Your species has no connection to the Velith. You have no reason to protect her. Why are you doing this?" "Because it is the right thing to do," Teho said. "That is all. You will die for this. Maybe. But at least I will die knowing I did not give a helpless woman to the people who hurt her." He ended the communication and waited. The first shot hit his ship hard. The whole vessel shook. Alarms screamed louder. The computer voice listed damage in a flat tone. Shields at 70%, 60%, 50%. Teho held onto his chair and tried to think. He needed time. He needed someone to notice what was happening. He pressed the emergency distress signal and hoped that someone, anyone, was close enough to hear. The second shot hit the cargo bay. Teho heard metal tearing. He heard Yuna scream. He ran. The cargo bay was filled with smoke and sparks. A hole had opened in the wall. Not big enough for a person to fit through, but big enough to see outside. Through the hole, Teho could see one of the hunter ships moving closer. They were going to board him. They were going to come inside and take Yuna by force. Teho looked around the cargo bay. He needed a weapon. He needed something. His eyes found a heavy wrench on the floor. The one he had been using to fix the panel. He picked it up. It was not much. It was almost nothing. But it was all he had. The hunter ship attached to his hull with a loud clang. He heard cutting sounds. Metal screaming as someone made a door where there was no door. Then the wall opened. And they came inside. There were 4 of them. They were tall and gray-skinned with too many arms and small, cruel eyes. They wore armor and carried weapons that hummed with energy. Tejo stood between them and the hidden compartment where Yuna was hiding. He held his wrench in front of him like a sword. The leader of the hunters looked at him and laughed. "This is your weapon? A tool? You are more stupid than I thought." "Maybe," Tejo said. "But I am not moving. We do not want to kill you, human. We just want the Velith. Step aside, and you can live." "No." The leader's eyes narrowed. "You cannot stop us. You know this. You are one small human with a wrench. We are 4 armed soldiers. The math is simple. The math does not matter," Tejo said. "I am not going to let you take her." "Why?" "She is nothing to you. She is not your species. She is not your family. She is just a monster. We lost. In shipping." Tejo's grip tightened on the wrench. "She is not a monster. She is a person, and she is under my protection." The leader stared at him for a long moment. Something changed in his small eyes. It was not respect exactly, but something close to it. Surprise, maybe, or confusion. "You humans are strange," he said. "You have only been in the galaxy for a short time, but already you cause problems. You do not follow the rules. You do not understand how things work." "Maybe we will change how things work," Tejo said. The leader raised his weapon. "Enough talking. Move, or die." Tejo did not move. The leader pointed his weapon at Tejo's chest. His finger moved toward the trigger. Then the universe exploded with light. A new voice came through every speaker on every ship. It was loud and official and very, very angry. "This is Galactic Union Security Patrol. All vessels hold position. Anyone who fires a weapon will be destroyed." Through the hole in the wall, Tejo saw them. Union patrol ships, big and fast, and covered with weapons that made the hunter ships look like toys. There were 5 of them, surrounding the hunters like a net. The leader of the hunters lowered his weapon slowly. His face was twisted with anger, but he was not stupid. He knew when he was beaten. "This is not over, human," he said quietly. "We will find her again. And next time, there will be no patrol to save you. Leave my ship," Tejo said. The hunters left. They went back through the hole they had made, back to their ship, and flew away as fast as they could. The patrol ships watched them go but did not follow. When they were gone, Tejo dropped the wrench. His hands were shaking. His whole body was shaking. He felt like he might fall down. But first, he had to find Yuna. He walked to the hidden compartment and knocked on the wall. "Yuna? They are gone. You can come out now." The panel opened slowly. Yuna crawled out, her red eyes wide with shock. She looked at Tejo, looked at the hole in the wall, looked at the wrench on the floor. "You stood against them," she said. Her voice was small and full of wonder. "You stood against 4 armed soldiers with nothing but a wrench." "It was all I had," Tejo said. "You could have died. You almost died." "I know." Yuna walked toward him slowly. She stopped right in front of him, so close he could see the tears running down her pale cheeks. "Why?" she asked. "Why would you do that for me?" Tejo looked at her. He was tired and scared, and his ship was damaged, and he did not know what would happen next. But he knew one thing for certain. "Because you are worth protecting," he said. "Because every person is worth protecting. And because I made you a promise that this ship was your home. I do not break my promises." Yuna looked at him for a long moment. Then she did something she had never done before. She stepped forward and put her arms around him. She hugged him, holding tight, shaking with tears and relief, and something else that felt like hope. "Thank you," she whispered against his shoulder. "Thank you. Thank you." Taeho hugged her back. "You are welcome," he said. "Now let us fix this ship before we fall apart in space." Yuna laughed through her tears. It was not a sad laugh this time. It was almost happy. And that, Taeho thought, was worth everything. The patrol ships escorted Taeho to the nearest station for repairs. They asked him many questions about what happened, and he answered all of them honestly. He told them about the lottery he did not remember entering. He told them about the crate and what was inside. He told them about the hunters who came for Yuna. The patrol officers listened carefully. They wrote everything down. Then they told Taeho something that surprised him. "We have been tracking this trafficking ring for months," the officer said. She was a tall woman with blue skin and kind eyes. "We knew they were operating in this sector, but we could not find them. Your distress signal led us right to them." "Did you catch them?" Taeho asked. "Not yet. They escaped before we could board their ships. But we have their identification codes now. We will find them." She looked at Taeho with something like respect. "You did a brave thing, human. Most people would have given the Velith to the traitors. Most people would not have risked their lives for someone they barely knew." "She is a person," Taeho said simply. "That is all that matters." The officer smiled. "I wish more people thought like you." The repairs took 3 days. Taeho's ship was old, and the damage was serious. He used almost all of his savings to fix it. When he looked at his account balance, he felt a cold feeling in his stomach. He had enough money for maybe 2 more weeks. After that, he would be in trouble. But he did not tell Yuna. She had enough to worry about. On the second day at the station, Yuna came to him with a strange look on her face. "Taeho," she said, "I need to show you something." She led him to the small bathroom next to his cabin. There, on the floor, she showed him what she had found. It was blood. His blood. He had been hurt during the attack, cut by flying metal, and he had not even noticed. The wound was on his side, hidden under his shirt. When Yuna pulled his shirt up, Taeho saw it for the first time. It was not a small cut. It was a long, deep gash that had been bleeding slowly for 2 days. "You are hurt," Yuna said. Her voice was tight with worry. "You have been hurt this whole time, and you did not say anything." "I did not notice," Taeho said honestly. "There was too much happening." Yuna looked at the wound with her red eyes. Her face was pale, even paler than usual. "This is bad. You have lost a lot of blood. You need medical help." Taeho thought about his account balance. Medical help at stations was expensive. Very expensive. He could not afford it. "I will be fine," he said. "I just need to rest." "You will not be fine," Yuna said. There was anger in her voice now. "You are lying to me. I can see it. You cannot afford medical help, can you? You spent all your money fixing the ship." Taeho did not answer. That was answer enough. Yuna was quiet for a long moment. Then she said something that made Taeho's heart stop. "There is another way. A Velith way." "What do you mean?" Yuna sat down on the floor next to him. Her hands were shaking, but her eyes were steady. "Velith can heal," she said. "When we bite, we can choose to take blood, or we can choose to give something back. We can push our own energy into the wound. It closes the flesh. It speeds the healing." Taeho looked at her. "You can heal me?" "Yes. But I would have to bite you." She looked away, ashamed. "I would have to put my teeth in your skin. Many people find this disgusting. Many people would rather die than let a Velith touch them like that." "I am not many people," Taeho said. Yuna looked at him sharply. "You would let me bite you? Even knowing what I am? Even knowing what my teeth are designed to do?" Taeho thought about it. He thought about the pain in his side, getting worse every hour. He thought about the blood he was still losing. He thought about what would happen if he did nothing and the wound became infected. Then he thought about Yuna. He thought about the trust in her red eyes. He thought about everything she had been through, everything she had survived, and the courage it must have taken for her to offer this. "I trust you," he said. Yuna's eyes filled with tears. You should not trust me. You barely know me. I could hurt you. I could lose control. But you will not, Taeho said. I know you will not. How can you know that? Because you are good, Taeho said. You are a good person, Yuna. You have been hurt so much. And you are still good. That is not easy. That takes strength. And I trust that strength, Yuna cried then, cried hard, like something inside her was breaking open. But it was not a bad breaking. It was more like a door opening. A door that had been locked for a very long time. When she stopped crying, she wiped her eyes and took a deep breath. Okay, she said. Lie down. I will try to be gentle. Lie down. I will try to be gentle. Taeho lay down on the bathroom floor. It was cold and hard. But he did not mind. He watched as Yuna knelt beside him. She lifted his shirt carefully, exposing the wound. Then she lowered her head. This might feel strange, she whispered. Try not to move. Taeho felt her breath on his skin. Then he felt her teeth. The bite did not hurt. Not exactly. It was sharp at first, like two needles pressing in. But then, something else happened. A warmth spread from the bite, moving through his body like sunlight through water. He felt the wound on his side start to tingle, then burn, then cool, and then the pain was gone. Yuna lifted her head. Her lips were red with his blood. Just a little. And her eyes were glowing softly. She looked different. Stronger somehow. More alive. How do you feel? She asked. Taeho looked down at his side. The wound was still there. But it was smaller now. The edges pink and healthy instead of angry red. As he watched, it seemed to shrink a little more. Better, he said. He was surprised by how true it was. Much better. Yuna smiled. It was a real smile. Bright and beautiful. And Taeho realized he had never seen her smile like that before. Good, she said. The wound will finish healing in a few hours. You will be fine. She helped him sit up. Her hands were warm on his skin. Not cold like before. The blood had done something for her too. Taeho realized. She looked healthier. Stronger. More present. Thank you, he said. Yuna laughed softly. You are thanking me? I bit you. I put my teeth in your flesh. Most humans would scream and run. I am not most humans. No, Yuna said. She looked at him with those red eyes. And there was something deep in them. Something that Taeho did not have words for. No, you are not. They sat together on the bathroom floor for a long time. They did not speak. They did not need to. Something had changed between them. Something important. The trust that Taeho had offered and Yuna had accepted had created something new, something neither of them fully understood yet. Finally, Yuna spoke. On my planet, she said, when a Velith heals someone, it creates a bond. A connection. We can feel each other. Just a little. We can sense when the other is hurt, or scared, or happy. Taeho thought about that. You can feel me now? Yes. Yuna put her hand on her chest. Here. Like a small warmth. I know you are tired and relieved. And a little confused. That is accurate, Taeho admitted. I can also feel that you are not sorry, Yuna continued. You are not afraid of the bond. You do not regret letting me bite you. Why would I regret it? Yuna shook her head slowly. I do not know. But many people would. Many people would see this bond as a violation, as a monster putting her hooks into them. They would hate me for it. I do not hate you, Taeho said. I could never hate you. Yuna's eyes filled with tears again, but she was smiling too. You are the strangest human I have ever met, Taeho, and I think you are the best human in the galaxy. I am just a cargo hauler, Taeho said. I am nothing special. You are wrong, Yuna said. She took his hand in hers, her fingers wrapping around his. You are the most special person I have ever known. And I will never forget what you have done for me. Never. They stayed like that, holding hands on the bathroom floor, until the station's lights dimmed for the night cycle. Then they got up and went to their rooms. But that night, for the first time, Yuna did not go to the small room next to Teho's cabin. Instead, she sat outside his door, listening to him breathe, feeling the small warmth of the bond in her chest. She had been alone for so long. She had forgotten what it felt like to be connected to someone. Now she remembered, and she promised herself that she would never let anything hurt Teho. Not the traders, not the hunters, not anyone. He had protected her when no one else would. Now it was her turn to protect him, no matter what it cost. 2 weeks after leaving the station, the news came. Teho was drinking coffee in the kitchen when his datapad lit up with an alert. He picked it up and read the message 3 times before he believed it. "Yuna," he called. "Come here." She appeared in the doorway, her red eyes worried. "What is wrong?" "Nothing is wrong." He handed her the datapad. "Read this." Yuna took the device and looked at the screen. Her eyes moved back and forth as she read. Then they stopped moving. Then they went very wide. "They caught them," she whispered. "They caught the traitors. All of them," Teho said. "The whole ring. 43 people arrested. Dozens of victims freed. The patrol officer. The one who helped us. She led the operation. She sent me this message to let us know." Yuna sat down heavily. Her hands were shaking so much that she almost dropped the datapad. "They are in prison? They cannot hurt anyone else?" "They cannot hurt anyone else," Teho confirmed. "They will be tried in Galactic Court. The officer says they will probably spend the rest of their lives in a prison station." Tears started falling from Yuna's eyes. She did not try to stop them. She did not even seem to notice them. "It is over," she said. Her voice was small and wondering, like a child seeing snow for the first time. "It is really over." Teho sat down across from her. "Yes," he said. "It is over." Yuna looked at him through her tears. "But what about me? What happens to me now?" Teho had been thinking about this for days. He had been thinking about it since the moment he saw her in that crate. Scared, and alone, and expecting to die. He knew what he wanted to say. He just hoped she would accept it. "You can stay," he said. "Here. On this ship. With me. For as long as you want. Forever. If you want." Yuna stared at him. "You want me to stay?" "Yes. Even though I am Velith? Even though I drink blood? Even though the whole galaxy is afraid of my people?" "Yes," Teho said again. "I want you to stay because you are Yuna. Not because of what you are. Because of who you are." Yuna was quiet for a long moment. Through the bond they shared, Teho could feel her emotions swirling like a storm, hope and fear and disbelief and something else, something warm and bright that he did not have a name for. "I have nowhere else to go," she said finally. "My planet is far away. My family is probably gone. The people I knew are dead or scattered. I have nothing and no one." "You have me," Teho said. "If you want me." Yuna laughed through her tears. "Of course I want you. You are the only good thing that has happened to me in years. You are the only person who has ever treated me like I matter." "Then stay," Teho said. "Not as a guest. Not as someone I rescued. Stay as family. Stay as someone who belongs here." The word hung in the air between them. Family. It was a big word. A heavy word. A word that meant something different to every species in the galaxy, but somehow meant the same thing at the core. Belonging, connection, home. Yuna wiped her eyes. She took a deep breath, and then she nodded. "Okay," she said. "I will stay. I will stay for as long as you will have me." "Then you will stay forever," Teho said, "because I will always have you." Yuna smiled that bright, beautiful smile again. She got up from her chair and walked around the table. Then she sat down next to Teho and leaned her head against his shoulder. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you for everything." "You do not have to thank me anymore," Teho said. "We are family now. Family does not thank each other for existing. They sat like that for a long time, not speaking, just being together. Through the window, the stars moved past slowly, millions of tiny lights in the endless dark. A month later, they stopped at a station to pick up cargo. While Tejo was loading boxes, Yuna went shopping for supplies. When she came back, she had a small package in her hands. "What is that?" Tejo asked. Yuna opened the package. Inside was a small piece of metal, shaped like a ship. It was painted blue and silver, the colors of Tejo's vessel. "On my planet," Yuna said. When someone joins a family, they receive a token. Something small that represents their new home. I know I cannot go back to my planet. I know I cannot follow all the old traditions. But I wanted something. Something to remind me that I belong somewhere now. She pinned the small metal ship to her shirt, right over her heart. "This is my home now," she said. "This ship. This life. You." Tejo felt something tight in his chest. Something that felt like joy and sadness mixed together. Like laughing and crying at the same time. "It looks good on you," he said. "I know," Yuna replied. And she smiled. The weeks turned into months. The months turned into years. Tejo and Yuna traveled together through the galaxy, hauling cargo from station to station, seeing wonders that most people only dreamed of. The word spread about them. People talked about the human cargo hauler and his Velith partner. They called them strange. They called them unusual. Some species did not understand how a human and a Velith could live together in peace. But they did not care what other people thought. They were family. One day, many years after they first met, Yuna asked Tejo a question. "Do you ever regret it?" she said. "Opening that crate? Keeping me?" Tejo thought about all the trouble Yuna had brought into his life. The hunters, the repairs, the money he had spent, the danger he had faced. Then he thought about all the good things, the laughter, the conversations, the company on long, lonely journeys between stars, the feeling of having someone who cared about him, truly cared, for the first time in years. "No," he said. "I do not regret it. Not for 1 second. Even though they told you I was a pet? Even though they lied to you about what was in the crate?" Tejo smiled. "They lied about many things, but they were right about one thing. You are a companion. Just not the kind they meant." Yuna laughed. It was a warm, happy sound, full of life and joy. "You humans are strange," she said. "You find family in the strangest places. That is what makes us special," Tejo said. "We do not care where family comes from. We only care that it is real." "Create." Yuna reached over and took his hand. Her fingers were warm now, always warm, full of the life that had been missing when he first found her. "It is real," she said. "This is real." "I know," Tejo said. "I have always known." And somewhere, in the vast darkness between stars, a message traveled through the networks of the galaxy. It told the story of a human who had been given a pet and found a sister instead. It told the story of a Velith who had expected death and found a home instead. It told the story of two people from different worlds, different species, different lives, who had become a family because one man had looked at a scared woman and seen a person worth saving. The galaxy was full of monsters. Everyone knew that. The galaxy was cruel and cold and dangerous. But sometimes, the galaxy surprised you. Sometimes, instead of monsters, you found heroes. Sometimes, instead of cruelty, you found kindness. And sometimes, when you least expected it, you found a family in a shipping crate, delivered to your door by mistake. Tejo looked out at the stars and smiled. He had never believed in fate before. Now he was not so sure. But either way, he was grateful. For Yuna. For his ship. For every moment that had led them to this place. This time. This life. Family was not about blood. Family was about choice. And he had made his choice the moment he opened that crate. He had chosen her. And she had chosen him. And that, in the end, was everything.